that because we want to, not because we have to. And it's great for enjoyment as opposed to just having to do stuff, you know?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
We are up and ready to go. Live pod, live pod, live pod, live pod. Your homeboys are back. We're back. Hey, it's been a month, a literal month. Limit down, GP. Limit the F down. Hey, if you forgot, I'm Bags. Hi. Nice to meet you. And I'm with my homeboy in the Limit Down hat, GP, Gotum. And then the ponytail bearded Sasquatch looking fellow with the glasses, the other guy glasses. That's JFDI, Nicholas, our three amigo homeboys. We've missed you. I've missed you guys a lot. We've been across this great country of ours in the last month, myself and my family, and it is good to be back with you talking shit about everything. So I'm happy. I'm in a great mood. It's so good to see you.
Yeah. I'm happy to have you back.
Yeah, man. Feels like it's been a long time.
A month is a long time. This is the longest we've ever gone between shows. But that's okay. That's okay. We're here. We're here. We're queer. We're having fun. We're not queer. I don't know if we're queer. We're whatever. I'm just having fun. I'm just having so much fun seeing you guys. And the market is ripping. As you can see, Q's ready to make a new all-time high. Is that right? Is that right? Is that what I'm seeing?
Not yet. Why not? Sure.
Almost. I didn't say it was. It's almost, right? That's factual.
Yeah. That's factual.
Yeah. So all you've missed in a month is some up, right? Yeah. Not biggie. GP, we were just talking about Tesla. Nick and I were.
Yeah.
And what's going on? What's Elon doing to get this big bump? Look at that.
And no, it's never anything to do with Elon, but let's pretend like it does. It has always been technical. I think I talked about it a couple of weeks ago. They were selling those arbitrage trades. Remember those from 2022, where they would sell deep in the money puts and the stock would just go nowhere. So for the last 3 months, basically since they announced the taxi 2 months, whatever it was, they've been doing it for June OPEX. And as soon as no other months, just June OPEX. And as soon as June OPEX ends, oh, look at that. It starts moving. It is a flow conversation. This market is a flow conversation. It continues to be, and you can see it day in and day out. Nick, as you can see, Netflix is the bullish, shittiest chart on the planet. It has, every time it gets to 690, it sells down. Every time it gets to 660, it sells up. Buys up. It is controlled by flow. Everything is flow. And if you think otherwise, then I'm not the right person to talk to. But it hasn't always been this way. It's just recent, over the last couple of years.
I think I'm the right person to talk to. Yesterday ended our quarterly challenge.
Oh, fucking A, really? Yesterday was the end?
Yeah, yesterday ended our quarterly challenge. And
look how crappy China is.
Hang on. I've got notes. I came prepared. Nick, you had Moderna. And boy, Moderna was on some shit.
Yeah.
Nick bought at 111.60 and the high was 166.61 for 49.29%. But yesterday at the close, 115.95 for squeaking out a 3.9%. And then GP bought JD.com for 26.70. The high for JD was 35.27. Let me pull up the chart. We got to show the people 35.27 for 32.1%. But yesterday, 25.79 for a minus 3.4%. So together, you guys are combined up 0.5%. Congrats, guys. Good job. Tesla.
The move happened.
Tesla Bags bought at 176.88. And boy, did we go through it with Tesla, didn't we, guys? Didn't we? Didn't we? And the low was 138.80 for a minus 21.5%. And yesterday's close, 209.86 for a grand total of 18.64%. I am your first two-time quarterly champion of the stock picks. Yay! And I haven't even traded in a month.
You know, I've never wanted you to be so right in my life. And so even if we lose, Nick,
We're still a win.
We're still win.
We're all winners.
Yeah.
And that's why I put your guys' highs on there too, because in fairness, you may have traded out. Nick had a price target on Moderna that hit. And you know, it was up here at you said 160, right, Nick? I think
170.50.
170. No, you had a price target. I think it was 160 is what you said.
Yeah, I think I had 140 and 160.
All right, so you hit your price target. You could have sold, and you might as well sold. So I'm not going to talk too much stuff. GP China was banging. China was banging, right? And that's not. I put in GP. It's JD. Like that's not the right chart. I don't remember what you put as a price target, GP. Oh, 40 to 4. So you might not have sold, GP. You might have been hanging on in there. I don't know, but I gave you the benefit of the doubt and gave you your 32% high. So very actionable trades from the three of us. It just happens to be coming to the end of the quarter that Bags takes it home 2 times out of our 3 times doing this. So just saying. That's all I got. Okay.
Price targets there 40 to 41, right? It's up the top.
Yeah, that was your price target. That's probably on Nick's too. If JFDI, I don't even know what I'm doing. Look at me typing in our names instead of mRNA. Yeah, 145, Nick. Yeah, you well exceeded your price target.
Yeah.
I said all-time highs, I think. 295. So I'm still what, $65 away. And the way it's going today, like we might see that soon. Who knows?
So we're right. We tagged the weekly 200 SMA pretty much bang on for Tesla here. And people are going to want to sell, but I think the bigger conversation is we gapped over
the 200.
The trend line. No. The trend line that's been a 2-year downtrend line that we gapped. So the one I have 3 of them, and we gapped over that today and have held above that. You have buyers above a major critical point that, in my opinion, that's a huge bullish move. Yeah. And it's this market, it fails every other day. So I'm not going to say that it's just going to continue through, but I have this distinct feeling that Tesla is not going to stop here. It's going to push towards that island gap down bottom in that 252 range before we get some consolidation, some sideways movement here. But it tagged that weekly 200. You had that mean reversion. People who bought in the 130s, 140s, 150s are probably going to trade out here, which is what you're
bring some registers.
Yeah, bringing some registers up 50 to 80% over the last 2 months versus the Qs, by the way. And we talked about this. How many times we talked about this? Apple and Tesla, since we bottomed in April, have outperformed the Qs. And yes, it's a miserable price action a lot of times, but they are still outperforming the Qs from the bottom. So your laggards into Q2 are now showing strength going into the year end. And so you should, in my opinion, of course, like I said, the markets can fail at any point in time, but you should be looking to find entry points on these 2 names over the next 6 months, I would say. Any weakness is probably going to be bought up. And Tesla and Apple are two of the biggest beneficiaries of you bidding up the hell out of AI stocks, chip stocks.
I mean, every dipshit in the world who is calling the end of the market and the end of Apple right here, boy, did they get cooked.
You want to know something? You want to know something?
You're short.
Phil Perlman, we were chirping at each other on stock twits, and I was buying Apple on those lows versus like the low of that massive range. And I wouldn't have, it wasn't my normal kind of trade, but he was hating on Cook so hard. I was like, dude, fuck this. I'm gonna take the opposite side of this trade. A great trade so far. I don't have any allegiance or opinion on Cook at all, or what he's done or how he's done it, but I just thought it was funny.
He's so I was reading this. This was a couple weeks ago before the move started. So obviously Apple's had its ups and downs over its many decades in the market, and after Steve Jobs got fired and brought back, Steve Jobs is similar to how I see it is Elon. Great visionaries, yet operators and executors not as much, right? They'll overspend, they'll do all their things, they'll perhaps introduce a very ugly truck or whatever it is to a lot of people. But one of the things that they did when Steve Jobs got hired was hire one of the best operators on the planet, and that happened to be Tim Cook. So
Sure.
while he's executing his vision, you have someone executing the operation. And when Tim Cook took over, obviously you've seen the result of when operation meets visionaries, right? And so that's something I think Tesla would really benefit from, is having someone like that who has that operational excellence. I don't know if and when that happens. I don't know if that requires Elon to be fired and brought back, the same Steve Jobs scenario, etc. But I thought that was fantastic hire by the board to keep kind of Steve Jobs in check. And Tim Cook has proven everyone wrong multiple decades. Do you remember in 2011, Nick, when Apple was done?
Yeah.
Steve Jobs died in October. They sold down the stock. I think it lost like 50% in a matter of like, I don't know, a few months or whatever it was. Maybe the timelines are a little off, but they were like, nope, never gonna do it. We're never gonna. Tim Cook is not a visionary. They're just introducing bigger iPhones, and
it got bought up hard after that, didn't it?
It's had a lot. What's that?
I mean, within a couple months of that news hitting, it got bought up super hard, didn't it? Or am I remembering incorrectly?
I think it dropped initially, and then it got bought up and doubled in like the next month, couple years or whatever it was. But they have hated on Tim Cook for as long as the last 11 to 12 years. He's been CEO, and the fire Tim Cook chants and all that other stuff. They've been wrong. Everyone's been wrong. And until he goofs up and until he messes up, I think the benefit of doubt always goes to the people who continue to execute year after year.
They are stupid.
Yeah. I thought it was hilarious that an AI calculator is the reason Apple broke out. But hey, it's what it is. Whatever.
Whatever. Yeah.
But I think that the thing that's important about that conversation is you can take your AI infrastructure and now you're seeing real world examples. Yes, AI calculator is a very small piece of that, but the people can now put how consumers can benefit from AI outside of Chat GPT and an advanced search engine or a resume writer or whatever, right? Like day-to-day operations. So I think there's a lot to be said. So it's fun, but yeah, hating on Tim Cook has been a mistake for many, many, many years.
I mean, being a hater on any of these fucking dreamers is I don't understand like the shit that I'm seeing on both Twitter and stock. I'm sorry about my language. Like dude, the NVIDIA, like from NVIDIA to Tesla to like you name it, it's like, dude, everybody wants the market to, it's like, dude, why do you want the market to collapse? Like what do you get out of,
It's miserable bear syndrome.
is it, I feel like it's
Yeah.
out in full force though, to the point, because like I feel usually pretty padded from it. Like my little bubble chamber, echo chamber is pretty small and pretty quiet and pretty in alignment with what I generally believe. Like, so I don't know. And I just feel like I've been seeing it a shitload lately. I don't know.
No, it is the miserable bear syndrome. Everything's going down. Everything. I need lower prices because I miss this. And then when it gets down there, they don't want to buy because it's going to
Yeah.
get lower. We're going to zero. It perpetuates itself over and over and over and over and over again. I mean, I was saying,
I,
remember when Apple was right here? Everybody was calling for the end of the world, like it was done, right?
yeah.
Apple's no longer a market leader. I mean,
We had
in
like it was
NVIDIA, right? NVIDIA is now the largest market cap in the world. If we go back to last year on NVIDIA, right? Like everybody in the world was calling the downfall of NVIDIA, and wrong. They just wanted lower prices, and then they never bought. It's just miserable bear syndrome.
at the back when Apple was sitting down there. I remember a conversation that we were having discussing like what the market would look like once, like, yeah, GP always brings up Netflix, but like how the general market was performing without Apple and Tesla. And then if they started to lift, like, I don't know, like it definitely feels like it's game on.
Yeah, well, I mean, this is something we've talked about before too, right? Is all the megas don't have to be marching at full pace
Yeah.
to lift the market. And when more than two or three of them take a rest, that's when you start seeing breadth fill in, right? But the mega caps kind of rotate back and forth with each other. It just so happens right now it's Apple and Amazon and Tesla's turn.
Yes, and so like somewhat, this is what I got taught a little bit over a decade ago, which is there's a cap on how much money is in mega caps on any given basis. And it's a rotation that happens between those caps, right? So Amazon and Google, or sorry, Amazon is now breaking out. What's not breaking out? NVIDIA, because it needs to rest. So the money rotates between these mega caps and they're constantly that's their own world. And then you want to see breadth expand underneath, which is what you're starting to see. The first thing I noticed this morning was the indices were red, but there was a lot of stuff on my watch list that was green. And that was the same yesterday as well. So you have 2 days into the new quarter, second half of the year, and you're starting to see rotation into names that are not indiced or whatever you want to call it. But I talked about this a couple of weeks ago. I talked about it over the weekend too. As of the end of second quarter, 302 of the S&P 500 stocks were green for the year. The leader in the S&P 500 is SMCI, which only entered the S&P on March whatever, which is now down 40 something percent since it entered the S&P. So it actually has no impact on the S&P move, right? Overall here. And if you're looking at the top names, Nick, you're going to love this. It was mostly energy.
Yeah.
Right? And Eli Lilly,
Alternative like energy names though, right?
but energy names nonetheless, right?
Yeah, for sure.
I
For sure.
believe energy is one of them, NRG.
Hey, to back up, you brought up SMCI. Do you think, and like speaking to the SMH, because like the SMH I think looks like incredibly good, especially even like today, kind of putting in like a nice wide bar off the 20-day moving average. The rest of the semis like all look good. Do you think that NVIDIA could just continue to chop sideways while the rest of them run? Or do you think that if NVIDIA is going to rust, the SMH in general is going to rust, like including like the individual names?
I I don't know the answer to that. I don't think NVIDIA rests for too long. In my
So
personal opinion, I
I
would
think
like
it's
to see
exactly
other
what
names
I think it's
outperforming.
exactly what GP referenced for the mega caps is they rotate around. Right, AMD is getting ready to get its catch up, right?
Yep.
You've got stuff like Marvell that's performing. I mean, hell, you even got stuff like uh Quavo over here. I mean, you got stuff that's tight and ready to rip. What else? I mean, just throw one out there. AVGO, your favorite, Nick.
Yeah.
I mean, resting, right? So it's very much similar to what GP was saying with mega caps, right? Is money has to go somewhere. And when they've had a big run up, you sell out and you buy another one, and it runs up, and then they kind of just keep doing that over and over. The semis, you guys know I love semis. I've loved semis for as long as I can remember investing, and I see no reason to to pull money out of them right now. I mean, AI is only taking off. There's only so much, uh, you know, microchip capacity that can be built. So it's got a built-in supply demand system. The demand stays so high right now, they can't keep up. TSMC can't keep up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Speedy
think
up.
you have
Speedy
internal
up.
rotations within sectors, and then you have internal rotations within mega caps, and it's it's one of the tenets of a bull market, which is rotation up the yin yang. Um, so, and then you're looking at coiled setups that are primed for moving out. Like if you look at Reddit on an IPO
Yeah.
basis, this thing is about to explode,
Yeah.
right? Like this is about to explode. But then you also look at Roku. Roku had a 20% move, silent but deadly move. And it's rotation that's setting in. And Roku on really no news. All you saw was, I think I pointed it out early last week, someone bought 40,000 weekly 58 calls and the move started. The flow has been a lot of the reasons. Square is in a similar position. It's got the double bottom off the mean reversion bounce, and you're setting up for a bigger move here.
It's got an inverse head and shoulders.
When I don't know is the question, right? When did they let these go? Will it be when FOMC finally decides on a direction? I don't know when that is. I just know that these are all pretty heavy consolidative moves, right? And from my years of doing this, this all looks bullish to me. So I think it goes up. Maybe it stays range bound for the next 10 years. I have no clue, but I like where a lot of these are holding up. You had a Square, especially, it went from 30 to 80, right? And consolidating at 60 is a pretty good 63 or whatever it is a pretty good retracement, hold, retest, and up for more. And it's not overvalued by any means, in my opinion. And these are all potential next second half of the year moves.
Back to semis. I mean, look at ASML here. I've got on the chart, Nick.
Yeah.
I mean, if you bought at the beginning of 2023, you're only up 100% only, right? Like it went from as a $500 stock up to $1,000 stock. ASML makes the largest equipment for semiconductors. Obviously, business is terrible.
God, yeah.
Pfizer's terrible.
I haven't looked at PFE in a while.
If you think Pfizer's terrible, look at Walgreens. Good Lord. WBA.
Walgreen Boots Alliance.
Oh boy.
Wow, that's a huge red candle last week.
Yep.
Nick,
And so
sorry, go ahead, GP. Sorry.
all I was saying is, like, I think everyone's expecting everything to go up, but the market is rewarding things that have pivoted, things have gone from being archaic old things and adopting new technology, adopting new monetary shift in the monetary regime shift with the higher interest rates. If you are executing, you are getting rewarded. Walgreens, Nike, Starbucks are not executing.
Yeah.
So they are not being rewarded in this market.
Looking
And
on Semi, sorry, looking on Semi, big 5% day today.
how's Global Foundries doing? I haven't even looked at that. GFS.
Oh, I haven't either.
Oh, good
I-
lord.
Oof.
There's a lot of semis that aren't actually participating. It's not just AMD. Global Foundries is one of them. On is another one, and then LSCC is another one that hasn't participated. Mobileye hasn't participated.
Was Amberella on a semi name?
Yes, but that hasn't really participated
Dude,
either.
that's gotten destroyed.
Yeah.
There is a lot of stuff that still looks good though. It's crazy. Like I don't know.
Dude, Netflix looks great, yet it won't go, right? But it's still holding. It still looks great. It's still up 260% from my entries. I'm a happy cat. I just want it to go higher, right? Like
Yeah.
and they are the hands down the winner in this space, and no one is pricing in how AI can help this stock, right? And they're pushing into sports, they're pushing into wrestling. All this stuff it's a show me story, right? We've
It's
executed
stuck, says the man that has 108 straight weekly bars to the upside for 345%. It's stuck, he says.
It is the first
Get the fuck out of here. It
is the first mega cap to bottom. It is the last mega cap to even try all-time highs. Every single other one has broken all-time highs.
I'm just saying, like you say it's, I mean, if you say it's stuck, we have a different perspective on what stuck means.
It's where it was 3 years ago. So yes, it's stuck.
Well, I mean, after it got slaughtered by a million% to the downside, yeah. But
you remember our conversation of the market being sideways in 2022?
Of course I do. But
It's
from
sideways.
This point right here, we are 107 straight weekly bars to there. That's 130, 100, 300%. 300%. Wow.
I know. I'm not, like I said, I'm a happy cat, but I would also like it to move higher because I'm tired of being just a happy cat. I'd prefer to be a roaring kitty.
Ooh, I
Yeah.
liked what you did there.
I did too.
You've been practicing that, haven't you?
It's been a month. I'm
He
ready.
woke up and he looked in the mirror this morning after he got out of the shower and he said, I'm tired of being a cat. I'm ready to be a roaring kitty. I like it.
That's amazing.
Like it.
He's making notes. That's not good.
Like it.
And can we talk? So I think you should be focusing on EV over the second half of the year. Tesla showing you, Rivian showing you, Neo showing you, BYD is showing you. The volume's kicking in. The news is getting better. Most likely EV as a whole sector space has bottomed. And so opportunities here are potentially ripe for the pickings.
I mean, stop me if
Except for
I've
China
heard this
names.
before, but Neo looks like it is ready. I
mean,
know I've said it before, but I really like the way this downtrend has the potential to break right here.
Dude, there's a ton of accumulation in Neo, yet it just down. It's a China name, so
It's the China part. I still like it. I mean, I look at the RSI, it's bouncing off the moving average. The Stochastic is too. You're less than 40 cents and you're above your 9 and 20 weeklies. To me, that's a go sign.
yeah.
That's
But that overall, this is something that the space is something that you should be looking for. We talked about it, I think, before. We talked about software, right? Snow finally gave you that double bottom, and what's it done since then? it's up like $20 or something like that, right?
They
These
love snow.
these are the moves you look for in charts, right? You look for the double bottom retest after bottoms comes back. It's usually 4 to 5 months later. Sometimes it's a couple years later.
So are you a buyer of snow now, GP, or you still no don't want anything to do with it?
So now you can buy this, in my opinion, freely on any pullbacks because this is setting up to be a bigger mover here, right? I
No,
think
you personally, are you buying
I
snow?
did, I did, I did, I did. But I'm saying in general,
That is a for anyone who's tuning in for the first time. I know there's a legion of snow fans out there.
There really
GP
are, aren't
has
there?
been so negative this name for as long as I have known this man, and now he's a buyer of snow. So just saying. I'm just saying.
it's it's the technical, right? It always has to lead with technicals for me. You're it technically it's set up beautifully that I think in a couple years you're gonna be like, shit, I wish I bought it in the 130s or 140s.
That was
Palantir looks great.
That's just still down there. Yeah, it
What's
does.
that?
Yeah, Palantir looks great.
Yeah. Oh, look at that. Netflix is trying something. It will fail tomorrow, but it's trying something today.
So all right, we got a new one from GP there. Nick, you got any new ones? Anything new that you're looking at? Or are you still looking at
Yeah.
Clack and AVGO?
All the usual suspects, but like I'm looking for all kinds of shit. Like I'm watching Planet Fitness, interestingly.
Planet Fitness.
PLNT. I like how it's just I don't know. I like how it's setting up here. ICE is probably one of my favorite
Yeah,
setups, actually.
fucking intercontinental exchange.
Dude, it looks, I mean, on every
Having their own stock market in Texas soon. Crazy. Is that all-time highs?
yes.
Nick loves some all-time high trades. I know that.
Oh, they're my I mean, yeah. I'm
Dude,
into it.
have you looked at CVNA Carvana? This thing is
Yeah.
about to bust a move.
Dude,
Check
every
out
time
CarMax. CarMax got to be no CarMax still in the shitter, guys. And I told you I traveled across the country earlier. I was paying attention to dealer lots. Dealer lots are low inventory across the country. I mean, we went from Kentucky to Colorado and back. So I saw everything from Kentucky, Indiana, Illinois, Missouri, Kansas, Colorado. So, and I'm missing somebody. Ohio, 7 states. We drove through 7 states in the last month. Dealer lots have very low inventory, but CarMax is packed to the gills with cars. Do with that what you will.
I don't know how to process that. Does that mean new cars are not selling and used cars are not selling and new cars are sold?
I'm talking about used only. Sorry,
Okay. Yeah, yeah.
used
Okay.
only. There's new cars on lot. Used cars. There are none at dealers, but CarMax just stuffed full of cars. Like I don't even see some of these lots how they could even get another car on the freaking lot.
Dude, every time I mention Carvana, I get literally hammered by either perma bears or perma bulls. And the same thing with Celsius.
Is that so? So 1 second. Is that the 200 week you have on there, the red line bags?
Yes, that is the 200. That's correct.
So go back to Carvana for a second, so we can talk about it, and then I want to talk about Celsius as well. You see it. You see that? That to me is as classic as a technical pattern as you can possibly. It pulled right into the 200 week, sold right back down to the 9-10 week, and pushed right back into it. You have an inside week here and potential inside week hammer above the 200 week after reclaiming it last week, I believe. Uh, this looks ready to explode. And Celsius,
I don't like Celsius at all, but
it does not look good.
no. Yeah,
No.
I don't know what it is about those two tickers in particular, but like, dude, like I get the amount of hate I get from both sides, even if my post is like totally neutral. I don't get it, but whatever.
Oh, go post something on the SoFi board.
I
Anything. It doesn't matter. Be bullish, be bearish. Just go post something and see what happens. That board is
some people, I swear. Take a look at ENTG.
ENTG Integris. That looks tight.
Yeah, another setup I'm watching. So
I like that, Nick.
The low floater.
yeah,
It looks
I
like a low
like that a
floater.
lot, Nick.
yeah.
That looks
I think it's
really
got
good to
a
me.
run to 200 in it.
Oh, I think so. Easy.
Does anyone think we're gonna tag SPY 600
Yeah, that's
in the
exactly.
next couple of weeks?
Oh, no, I don't
Okay.
know.
Am I the only one?
You think we're hitting 600 in the next couple of weeks?
I think by July OPEX we're close to 600, if not over it.
Like
July
what?
OPEX?
What's close to 600? Like 580?
Um, so no, I actually think over 600 is what I think, but that's me. I don't know.
10% in 2 weeks. That's what you're saying.
Yeah, that is what I'm saying.
10% in 2 weeks.
I think you have a possibility here, right? You have earnings coming up. You have a 3-week tight on the SPY ultimately, Nick, which
Yeah,
usually results in
I
4 to
was just
5%
thinking that.
4 to 5% moves usually on a 3-week tight,
Yeah.
and that's on the SPY, right? So yeah, if you like, you have earnings coming up, right? Like Tesla's participating now, Apple's participating. The only name that's not participating in mega caps is NVIDIA, oddly enough.
Yeah.
Every single big, I'm looking at the list right now, right?
Yeah.
Tesla's up, Microsoft's up, Apple's up, Amazon's up, Meta's up, Google's up, Netflix is up. NVIDIA's the only one. So if these are, and the setups in Meta, in Amazon, in Google all look like they're just starting their moves higher. So
Yeah,
I
for
think
sure.
I think it's possible. I'm not saying it will happen, but I think it's definitely possible, and it's a pain trade, I would say,
I'm
because no
pretty
one's
sure you can rewind the tape and hear me saying hot summer, hot summer, hot summer, hot summer.
Yeah. I've been doing my best to just like sit on my hands and not fuck myself by selling anything or doing anything stupid.
I heard a term on the Daily Show that I really like. It's top titty meat.
Oh,
It's top titty meat.
I'm into that.
yeah.
That's what's going on right now. It looks so good. Like just ooh, I love it. Right? Like
I also think if we tag 600, you're going to get a quick, not a quick, but you get a correction into the election time, right? That's or 610 is the number I have in mind. But if we tag that, I think we also then it's the same playbook as the last 2 years, right? Rip it into July earnings, OPEX, and then make everyone miserable for the next 3 months after that, which makes sense because elections are coming up. I'm sure there's going to be nonsense around the two candidates being senile, felons, etc.
So go chop and then break out sometime in what, like January?
After the election, potentially into
Okay.
year end is just what I'm thinking on potential game plans.
Yeah.
But because I'm looking at the charts underneath a lot of these names, Nick, and they're all pretty decent looking, and they haven't even started.
Yeah. There's just so much to write. Like there's so much to consider. Like just like spitballing in my mind. I'm like, dude, I want to be participating in basically all things social media, all things like finance related, whether it's like your normal like Goldman or JP Morgan or via the freaking crypto miners. Like the intersection between like health and tech, there's like a plethora of setups. And then not even considering the safest trade at this point right now is probably in the mega caps. And it's like a freight train. Like
Yeah. And and I love that you
Aro looks
mentioned,
look
fantastic.
at
I'm sorry.
cybersecurity, dude. Look at Crowd and
yeah,
Palo Alto. Like, holy cow.
Somebody hated on Palo Alto for a long time. I don't know why.
well, it did not do well for a while, but it's
Well,
proven me wrong. I can't bet against Pelosi. I'm an idiot. So like that's just bottom
you
line.
buy that massive fuck me down stick and you're okay.
Yes, because it's Pelosi's stock. I should have known better. Uh, but yeah, so the thing that you talked about is I think the point that we want to touch on a little bit here, a bit more, is the crypto space, right? Like Bitcoin looks like it's about to bust a nut, right? Like it.
Whoa!
Whoa, sorry, pardon the French.
It's about the jism.
Yeah, so I really like the setup here in Bitcoin, and at some point we're gonna get a big move up, and I think that this could be the reason why the markets push higher, right? It's Bitcoin is the ultimate risk asset, in my opinion. And if Bitcoin starts to push higher, you should start to see the market push higher. But that's me.
It'll be September.
But on top of all this other stuff is the SPY consolidated for 3 or 4 months, right? After taking out consolidation of 2 years, 2.5 years, or whatever it is. So this is on a monthly setup, on a weekly setup, larger time frames. These look great to me. I don't care what the daily does if the weekly and monthly trump them.
It'll be in September when it
I hope that
breaks
comes.
out. Do you remember?
Like every opportunity I get to add coin, I've been adding. So um, I think coin looks great. I think
I ended up selling out of
right.
most of my coin and dumping it into Hood.
Coin is the ultimate
Yeah,
winner in the crypto space at this point, unless something changes.
yeah. Coin looks good. Building a big old base. I feel like the base it's building between like 180 and 280, like that's 100 points. So like when this thing breaks out, like it's going. I think it's moving towards like 400 or 500.
Yeah, uh, and yeah, I think Bitcoin. Sorry, coin is in the space of it's a low floater. A lot of flow comes in to control the week to week movements, but the overall setup is a bigger move higher. I don't know when. I never know when on these time frames, so to speak. But
There's your move. Screenshot it. Write it down. Take a note.
oh, September. Okay.
All right, you are talking about coin. I love coin.
Yeah, I this is setting up for a big move higher.
Yeah, agreed.
I'm gonna have to sell some more of my Tesla to buy some more coin.
No, I'm gonna stick with my Tesla.
So I posted the chart of Tesla. I don't know if you guys saw it. We had a similar move in Tesla in 2019, the first half of 2019, where or sorry, end of December to the first half of 2019, where the Qs went up 31, 32% off the back of J Powell stopping the rate hike cycle. Do you remember that? Right? The taper tantrum. Trump came in and said, you better do what you got to do and stop this stuff. Market sniffed it out post Christmas, and the Qs went up 32% from there. And in the same time, Tesla lost 60%. And then the Qs and Tesla both bottomed on June 2nd, 2019. And from that moment on, Tesla went on to outperform Qs for the rest of the year at a tune of, I think, Tesla finished the year up 145% from that bottom, and Qs were up like another 10% or something like that, but severe outperformance. So I'm very interested to see if Tesla takes the same path, but it looks good.
I love it.
What do you
I
think of
love
the meme ones? The speaking, back to you waking up as the roaring kitty.
Yeah, Kitty bought Chewy, right?
This guy's not a fraud, but he's just a trader. Can
Yeah,
we stop? Like,
I know.
and he's not a good trader. He was up hundreds of millions of dollars on calls, and he's rather meme about it. He's the definition of a retail trader. He could have made a lot of money, and maybe
A
he
lot
did,
more money. A
and he
lot
didn't
more.
share. Yeah, and he didn't. Maybe he didn't share that piece where he sold those 128 calls for lots and lots of money against his position. And that's how he has more money, but he's just a trader.
I
He's
think
not.
part of it is right is it's ego, right? It's self. Um, you build your up to be certain persona and you're attached to a certain name and you don't want to be the guy to give up on it, right? And I think that probably is more of the definition of the retail, not being up. I mean, I think it's okay to be up and lose some of those gains, right? But at the same time, it's being firmly entrenched in your position because you have been a disciple of whatever that name is, basically.
Yeah, and now he's on Chewy, and I'm like, okay, cool. He wants those quick 20-30% moves, and he's like, he's to me, he's a retail. Like, people love him. I understand what he did was phenomenal. I'm not arguing any of that stuff. But he's just like everyone else ultimately now.
I like Net here, another name that's in the old bag here.
Yeah,
Net's at the pivot. It looks good to me.
I like Datadog more.
Little
Actually, own
Cloudflare, Datadog. Yeah, their dog's good.
The whole software space is about to rip, right? So
IGV.
yeah. God, there's just not enough money there's not enough money.
nope.
So many good fucking setups that like I just
Not enough money.
But when you make statements like that, it's almost like the moment of, oh shit, we should probably relax then.
We should probably sell some. We should probably sell some stock.
I don't. I want to push the puddle down. But yeah, I know.
Yeah, and that's why I think the pain trade is higher to the 600 level, right? I think there's a lot of people who are selling into this because they feel the same thing, and we push higher, but we'll see.
Well, let's
Yeah,
find
I
some
don't think there's
dogs. Let's talk about some dogs then. Um,
Wayfair, meh.
Wayfair's a dog. It's garbage. On a
Nvidia's
daily
a dog.
basis.
It's down 1.8% today. Nvidia is just a dog. Nvidia's not a dog. Pfizer has been a dog.
You know it's not a dog? The beast called Costco.
OMG. I know.
Don't we love it the most?
Look at it. I'm just like, dude, this run since even like May. Probably the easiest.
We gave everybody this trade that's on the screen right now. We gave everybody this trade. Every one of us were in agreement. We even had Randy on board and say, buy right here, buy under 500.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is just, yeah, it's been easy. I'm waiting until Jim Cramer comes on and says, own it, don't trade it. It's probably the moment where you want to sell it, but you'll still regret it in 10 years because they just execute. Management is phenomenal.
We got some questions in the chat, guys. We got like 10 minutes. You want to take some time for the chat?
Yep.
All right, we'll go back to the top. Baba from the Nest. China's just challenged. I mean, I'm still long Baba. I still got some long dated calls, but it's just hard to be in these China names. I think if JD, the GP's pick shows you anything can trade, anything can pop. but China's are just struggling right now. I don't know if you guys got a different take, but that's the reality of the situation from the way I see it.
Yeah.
Nick's statement a couple of minutes ago. If you are limited on funds, are you putting it into names that have gone nowhere in the last 2 years with regulatory overhang from a type of government that most people don't align with? Most likely not. Will it work a couple of years from now? Potentially. But right now, in a market that's ripping higher, why would you allocate money there if it's dead money, right? Like,
Anything can trade, and this doesn't mean that you should or shouldn't buy it. Anything can trade. It's just really hard to be in China when everything else is working.
yeah,
Thoughts on Wayfair? You got just what I need.
tons of accumulation going nowhere.
I mean, this is a pretty low risk spot. You know, you're at the bottom of the range and the floor is pretty clear. So it's like, at least on the daily, I know you got the trend line up, but like if you're long versus 50, I don't think there's anything wrong with it, but it is kind of a dead money trade, in my
Yeah,
opinion.
it's done nothing, right? Like ultimately, I love the accumulation, but holding it has been a miserable bear bull theory. I don't know. I have no clue, but it's
Redfin.
same, right? These are, I think, FOMC dependent stocks potentially. Especially Redfin, right? But I like it. I still own it. Just not looking at
3M. Hey Ted, thanks for joining. 3M. GP still waiting on his $70 price target here.
it.
Um, Ted, I've had this pivot up here drawn for a long time, pal, and it failed the first time. But this could be a situation that GP was mentioning. You test the pivot and then go higher. What was the 200 week that we saw? Was it that we talked about earlier?
Carvana.
Yeah, was it Carvana?
Yep.
I don't remember. Anyway, this could be an opportunity that it pops higher. I don't know, but it's a little heavy. I think if I recall correctly, you were short, Ped. I don't know that I would be short if it were me and my money. Jason, VRT. What up, T Stomp? Vertiv. I,
I like, I, it's a name that I've been continuing to watch, kind of day trade in and out of it, along with kind of the other growth names that people have been in and out of. But I don't know. It's an avoid for me at the moment, just while it's under the 50-day. If I get something that like stands out, like a big engulfer or something on like big volume, like a wide range bar, I just think it's kind of gonna try and either trend or kind of melt into the 200-day, or as the 200-day catches up. I have an alert currently set at 98, just as an FYI, because if it bottoms out right where it's at, I like that price is a 6-7 low. So like the way that I'd be looking at it is like it could be forming a double bottom here where your trigger is kind of through 95, 96. It's just how I'm looking at Bert in particular. So I love it though.
Shreya says, Weight Watcher put still paying. How's old? Yep, still paying. Going to zero. That's a money trade.
Damn.
Good job. Good job. I believe the trade was taken somewhere up here, so that's a good trade. Good trade. Good trade. That's 70% your money at least. At least. Awesome. Awesome. We don't have our picks ready for this next quarter today because I think we all forgot about it, except for me. I was ready because I was chomping at the bit for Tesla, baby. But we'll get you our quarterly picks next week. Does that sound fair, guys?
Sounds good.
Sure.
All right, next week, quarterly picks. Goobtastics, Siri, weird action on it. SIRI, serious?
They're
Satellite,
still a public company.
they are. Wow, that's
I don't think I've looked at this chart in decades. Holy moly.
that's not a bad little couple up weeks. I'd want to see what it does here. I think it's probably going to come into that 9 weekly at some point. But above,
Bottomed.
let's say 350, it's game on.
The problem with all these names is they can get bought out for like really cheap, right?
Yeah, but if you bought it for 350 and it got, bought out for 5, I mean that's what,
Yeah,
70%?
a lot of people do options and flows. So I was talking from that perspective, right? But yes, it looks good. It looks like it's bottomed. Monster volume week
Yeah.
with the doji. It's capitulation at its finest, but it's also a stock that has really done nothing in 16 years.
This was fun, guys. We just sort of powered through this hour like a champ, like we haven't missed a beat. I've missed you two, that's for sure. I've missed our legion of watchers. That's been fantastic to be back on the old pod.
Yeah.
Love it.
We're going to hang out till the bell rings here, so we got about a little under 5 minutes.
Look at stacks, aluminum.
Dude,
The
look at
Q's
Tesla.
up.
It's about to clear the 200 a week as we're closing, by the
The
way.
Q, look at this. I mean, the Q's started
Mhm.
off the day at 480. We're going to test 486. We're going to be testing 487, I think, into the close. 486.84, 487.20 is the all-time high. Can it do it? I don't know. We're at all-time closing high. If we close right here,
Yeah. Wow.
Harbor, Reddit. GP, you want to give the Reddit rundown one more time for Harbor?
IPO base breakout. This goes, it pushes towards 90. There's a lot of 80 calls for this week and into July OPEX as well. That was earlier this morning when I checked it. So flow suggests that it's going to break out. Chart suggests it's going to break out, and it probably will break out.
Go back and watch probably the first 10 minutes of like around 10-minute mark of the show. You can hear GP talk about Reddit a little bit more.
Yeah. These are base breakouts and IPOs. They tend not to hold, so if they do break out and you catch it, it's probably a moment to kind of sell into. I don't know whether this is the moment to sell into or if it's another 100% from here, but IPO based breakouts don't tend to last very long. I'm not saying 5 minutes. I'm just saying they're not. They're it's the early the mental thought process is that it's the early initial investors are cashing out, so they're trying to cash out as high as possible. So they'll pump it to sell it. Love it.
Oh man, I love this. I love this game,
It's fun.
dude.
We have a short week tomorrow. I mean, by the way, guys, we're off on the 4th. Tomorrow's only open until 1 p.m. as well.
Short day tomorrow, no market on Thursday. Full day Friday though, right?
Yeah, but everyone's
Nobody's low volume, which means fuckery
yeah.
could be abound. So you may as well pack it up, right? Tomorrow you just close shop for the rest of the week.
Yeah, you'll see premiums drop off pretty hard if you're doing weekly options and stuff by like 11 tomorrow. And Friday, it's like the Thursday after Thanksgiving, or the Friday after Thanksgiving this year, for 4th of July. Most people are on vacation at their beach houses, whatever.
Nick, you calling it a week after tomorrow? You done Thursday, Friday?
No. My wife and kids are heading up to the cabin. I mean, I'll be home and at the office working. I got house projects, and then I'll be at my desk. So
Dude, this Tesla close
I'm in push it mode.
is potentially powerful here, right? It's trying to
Let's
close.
go, baby.
It's
Let's
trying to close.
go, baby.
It's literally right there. We got 1 minute left.
Give me my 295 before the close.
We might get that 252 tomorrow. Nope. They're still selling it.
1 minute to go. You looking at the intraday chart there?
Yeah.
Do
Oh,
it.
we're trying again. Can we? And then Rivian just can't go. But
Yeah.
the news just keeps getting better and better. So it should be interesting.
I like it.
Dude, I mean, you know,
30 seconds left in the trading day. The Qs just went over up 1%. We're definitely going to have an all-time high close.
beast.
Can we get an all-time high close? Not just, or just 487.20 is the number we got to get? No, we're not going to get that. Oh, we might. 20 more cents. It's going to be 487.18. Nope. 487 even. 486.98. 486.98 on the Qs.
But
Up
Tesla did it.
1.5%. And Tesla finished the day
Over the
at
weekly
its
200.
high, 230.99. What?
Can we say
231.36.
gap up tomorrow?
I hope that would be great. That
Yes.
would be fantastic.
Knowing this market, it's going to gap down to 200. But yes, that's a pretty solid move. So I gotta head out, guys. It's market
Love you,
close.
boys. We'll be back next Monday.
All right.
Peace.